Summer is here, Bitcoin is at all-time high, and today we're going to go through a bunch of different yield-generating strategies for you to use in the world of DeFi. Let's get straight to it. Welcome back, everyone. I did actually write this Farms of the Month episode on Twitter, but we're going to do it in video form now. We're going to cover 10 different opportunities. We're going to start with the first being IVX, our zero-day to expiry option market. Now, IVX is interesting because, of course, you can speculate on these options and have some really incredible leverage when trading, but we're going to go to the Earn tab because we're going to talk about what I feel is one of the best instruments in the market, IVLP. IVLP is this index of stablecoins in the form of Honey, Bitcoin, ETH, and Bera. And you can see the target weights directly on here. So you can see that IVLP is 50% stables, 25% Bitcoin, 15% ETH, and 10% Bera. Now, one of the reasons why this is such an interesting instrument is because not only do you have exposure to these assets, and of course as Bitcoin goes up, it's currently at all-time high, the index is also worth more. Now the interesting thing is the other two ways that IVLP generates returns, one of them being through trader P&L and historically has been positive, and the second way being through the APR that comes from the trading fees. Now, what we do with IVX is we take the trading fees, we put them through Beraborrow Chain's proof of liquidity, use them as incentives to validators, and validators offer a return to IVLP stakers in the form of BGT. And historically has been over 50% APR, and yeah, because of that, it's been one of the best instruments in the market. Where can you get that sort of yield on an instrument that's mostly stable and Bitcoin? One of the best in my opinion at the moment, and I think will continue to be one of my favorites as well. Secondly, we're going to talk about Resolv. Now, Resolv is one of the stable coins that's been growing massively over time, and that's partially because of the incredible returns that they're able to generate through the backing of USR. Now, for those of you who don't know, Resolv have the stable coin that's minted against these delta neutral positions on ETH and Bitcoin. And you can see on screen right now that staked USR currently earns a return of around 8%. You also have this additional asset called RLP, which is an over-collateralized kind of insurance layer on top of USR. Both of these offering very good returns, 8% on USR, and if you want to take a little bit more risk, 14% here on RLP. And you can see RLP over time just continuously goes up in value, whereas USR, you just earn and claim the yield. You can do this directly on the Resolv app. I think it's one of the best risk-adjusted returns on stablecoins in the market right now. And yeah, that's why they've got 400 million in TVL. So again, if you're looking for just some real yield, I think this is also another favorite of mine. Next up, we're going to talk about Echelon. And the reason why we talk about Echelon is right now for USDC supplying, they do have some additional incentives in the form of the init token, which adds up to almost 12% APR. Not too bad if you just wanted a single-sided exposure. No worry about impermanent loss or anything like that. Of course, you have the usual risks, including the likes of smart contract risk. But I think, yeah, 12% APR on stables, and especially being paid in init, well, the vast majority of it being paid in init, not too bad overall as well. All right, one of my favorites at the moment actually here is Lydra. Now, Lydra is this new perpetual exchange where users can deposit into LLP being the market making vault for all of the traders. Historically has performed really well, and you can see this from some of the return percentage over time. You can see lots and lots of green here. There are a few days in, so you are of course taking counterparty risk, but I think 153% speaks for itself, and that's why there's 25 million in this vault already. You can of course trade on Lydra as well, earn those points. I think this is going to be one of the airdrops that I think people are maybe not too focused on right now, but if I were you, or anyway, all I can say is what I'm doing, I am personally farming this a little bit. No financial advice. I don't know if this is going to be good or not, but it's one that I think offers some pretty good risk reward. Next up, we're going to go back to Beraborrow Chain, and this time we're going to focus on Infrared. Infrared being probably one of the leaders in the Beraborrow Chain ecosystem, and particularly focusing on this one with Nect, stake Nect, I should say. Nect being the CDP stablecoin from Beraborrow, 80 million TVL, which is pretty insane, but more so because of the high APR at the moment, which is over 16%. On top of that, you can of course earn Infrared points, which I think will give some sort of airdrop in the hopefully not so distant future. And so yeah, not too shabby at all. This is 16% paid to you in IBGT. So yeah, another one that I think is very attractive as well right now. Moving on, we're going to go to Curve, and specifically we're going to go onto Frax. Now, Frax has actually been a pretty strong performing asset over the last month, which I guess maybe has surprised a lot of people. But there are a bunch of stable pools on here and some of the Frax bond pools that I think are particularly interesting. And you can see one of the reasons why is because of the additional APRs that you're getting in the form of the CRV token and the Frax token as well. You can see that some of these Frax USD paired with the Frax bond products are paying or are giving you incentives that can add up to 30% if you have the max APR, or if you have the max boost plus Fraxtal points on top of that. If you have no max boost whatsoever, it's still 20% plus. So I think, yeah, for stablecoin enjoyers, this might be a really, really interesting one as well, where you can simply just deposit on Curve, a well-known exchange that everyone who is watching this probably is well aware of as well. So I really like this one. I think you can even find perhaps some of the stable pools if you don't want exposure to the bond products as well. You can get over 10% on many of these as well. So I think this is probably a little bit underrated. You can see that some of the pools do have, quite a few million in them. So, maybe this isn't, something that you can deposit millions and millions in. But I think if you're a small fish like me, then yeah, this one might be interesting. Next, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, particularly because Bitcoin is at all-time high right now, and I think some people want to earn yield on that Bitcoin. And I think one of the opportunities that I think is really, really good, strong right now is through Solv. Now, Solv have a bunch of different LSTs. There's a couple that we can speak about right now. One of them being the Beraborrow Chain strategy. So this is Solv BTC being deposited into Beraborrow Chain and farming for approximately 6 to 8% APR. Most of this coming in the form of proof of liquidity rewards across a variety of different exchanges like Kodiak and Infrared, of course. The others are the BNB one as well. So I think historical yields from BNB staking, which I think is pretty juicy as well. I think those two are probably the most attractive. There is also the Jupiter BTC strategy as well, which has been pretty good, I guess, recently because Sol has been performing really well. JLP, of course, having that kind of exposure. So yeah, I think this one's also an interesting one. I guess the more volume that you see on Jupiter's perp dex, the higher the APY is going to be here. But I think, yeah, the three of these are interesting. Of course, there is a new points program with Solv as well, meaning there's likely going to be another airdrop of some sort. So yeah, again, you've got some additional rewards there coming for you. So I think this one, Solv in general, I think is another one that I think is worth farming as well. Next, we're going to go to Euler. Now, Euler have a whole range of different interesting strategies here where you can loop and multiply, or basically get enhanced exposure using debt. And you can see that some of the max ROIs, this is across multiple loops, are high double digits. Now, of course, you are taking some risk here, but I think if you find like the right opportunity and something that you are happy to sit in for a while, this can really add up over time. So I think these are some really, really strong strategies from Euler. And again, probably one of the reasons why their TVL is just exploding right now by offering these strategies to you. I can't complain. Again, another really, really strong player right now. Go and pick which strategies you want, because again, many of them will have different risk profiles. You can see Resolv here again being a big player with RLP USR or RLP USDC. You can kind of pick which one you want exposure to. But yeah, I think some of the other ones might be more interesting too as well. Maybe using some of the PTs from Pendle, or perhaps some of the other assets as well, like Usual's USD0 as well. So have a look through them. I think even if you scroll down, you can still get high double digits across some of these, which I think is still well worth it. Yeah, have a look. You'll find something that is attractive to you as well. Next, we're going to talk about Pendle, and specifically some of the pools on Pendle. Now, these really apply if you are able to get the max boost. I mean, you can use some of the other Pendle protocols that are built on top of Pendle, like Pempi, but I think for today we're just going to look at Pendle itself. A bunch of different pools here with double-digit APRs. One of the ones that I like is Angles Euro. I think that's a favorite of mine. But again, constantly have a look at these. These are updating literally every other day, and you can find some pretty good stable opportunities here. So yeah, if you're early as well, like perhaps maybe you are on this one with USN, again, you can earn some pretty good APRs APRs before the pools get diluted. And last but not least, we're going to talk about an old favorite of ours, FX Protocol. They have something called FX Save, which is this auto-compounding delta neutral vault, which has an underlying FX USDC stability pool position, which kind of auto-compounds the yield into more of the stablecoin over time. Historically been around 11% APY, which again, not too bad. It has been able to attract over 30 million in TVL. One that might be interesting for some of you guys as well. So not the longest of videos, but we covered a bunch of different strategies here. Let me know which ones are your favorite. Let me know if there's any that you think I'm really missing right now. And otherwise, we'll be back with plenty more videos in the not so distant future.